Hello, my name is Trevor Sims, and this is my experiment spinning wheels. A wheel for a skateboard isn't all that simple. There are different parts to it, such as the bearings. These enable the wheel to keep on spinning when forces apply to them. Bearings are rated under ABEC standards, which range from ABEC 3 through ABEC 9, 3 having the poor performance, while 9 having the better. The materials that are used to make up the bearing are the outer race, the retainer, the balls, the inner race, and the shields. My purpose for performing this experiment is to test which type out of 2 skateboard bearings will spin for the longest time. If I test how long each out of 2 skateboard bearings can spin, then I can determine which bearing can spin the longest. My dependent variable is the spin time of the bearings. My independent variable is the type of bearings that are being tested, and my control group is the amount of force I put onto each wheel. The materials that I used were 1 skateboard truck, 1 skateboard to hold the truck, 2 wheels, 1 set of rushed ABEC 3 bearings, 1 set of rushed ABEC 5 bearings, and 1 stopwatch. These are the 2 sets of bearings that I used to conduct the experiment. I will set up the project by putting each set of bearings onto each wheel, putting the wheels on the truck, then I will put an equal amount of force onto each wheel, then I'll see which set of bearings in each wheel spins for the longest amount of time. The result of my experiment shows that the ABEC 3 bearing had a spin time of about 2 seconds, while the ABEC 5 bearing had a spin time of about 10 seconds. The reason the ABEC 3 bearing had a low spin time is because this bearing had little friction resistance, causing it to slow faster, unlike the ABEC 5 bearing, which had a greater friction resistance, causing it to spin longer. My recorded data does indeed support my hypothesis, since my prediction was the ABEC 5 bearing would spin longer than the ABEC 3 bearings. This experiment would be useful in the real world if you were to be buying a new skateboard and needed to know which kind of bearing to get. A thing I can change in my experiment is the amount of force I put onto both of the wheels in order to see a different change in times. These are the sites that helped me create my experiment and find my research. Thank you for your time that you took watching my experiment.